Some robberies are remembered for their brilliance and precision, others for their scale and the sheer audacity of the people behind them. But some robberies are remembered for something entirely different, for how unbelievably foolish they were. Tonight, we are not talking about criminal masterminds or perfectly executed plans. We're talking about people who believed they had created the perfect crime, only to watch everything collapse because of one tiny, almost ridiculous mistake. A forgotten mask, a careless selfie, a receipt left in a pocket, a fingerprint on a soda bottle. Small details that turned bold plans into embarrassing failures. And by the end of this video, you might begin to notice a pattern. In many of these cases, it wasn't bad luck that ruined everything. It was ego.
The man who robbed a bank without a mask. In 2019, a man walked into a bank in broad daylight. No mask, no gloves, no visible weapon. He calmly approached the counter and handed the teller a note demanding money. There was no shouting, no panic, no dramatic movements. The employees followed procedure, handed over the cash, and within minutes, he walked out as if nothing had happened. On the surface, it almost looked confident, calculated, as if he believed that acting normal would make him invisible. But there was one problem. The entire robbery was captured in high definition by multiple security cameras. His face was clear, perfect lighting, multiple angles, and unlike many criminals who try to disguise themselves, he made no attempt to hide his identity. When the footage was released to the public, it didn't take long. Someone recognized him almost immediately, a former coworker. The police had a name within hours. He was arrested shortly after. When investigators asked why he didn't wear a mask, his explanation was almost surreal. He believed that if he acted calm enough, if he behaved like he belonged there, people wouldn't question him. He thought confidence would replace concealment. He underestimated one thing: cameras don't care about confidence. His mistake wasn't technical. It wasn't even complicated. It was pure overconfidence. He believed he could outsmart a system designed to record everything. And that belief lasted exactly one afternoon. The selfie that solved the case. In 2016, a small jewelry store was robbed late in the evening. The thief moved quickly and seemed prepared. He wore gloves, covered his face, disabled part of the alarm system, and managed to leave before the police arrived. At first glance, it looked like a clean job. The security footage showed a masked figure, no obvious clues, no fingerprints, no witnesses who could clearly identify him. For a few days, investigators struggled. The suspect had avoided the most common mistakes. He didn't use his personal vehicle, he didn't bring his phone inside, he even changed clothes before leaving the area. But what he didn't realize was that the mistake had already happened, just not at the crime scene. A few hours after the robbery, a photo appeared on social media. A man posing in front of a mirror holding several expensive watches and necklaces. His caption was vague, almost playful. He never mentioned the store, he never admitted anything directly. But investigators noticed something else: the background. In the reflection of the jewelry pieces, there were small details, the store's unique display lighting, and a recognizable layout. Even the tags were still attached to some items. The timestamp of the post matched the estimated time of the robbery. Once police traced the account, the case unraveled quickly. The suspect had been careful inside the store, but careless online. When confronted, he insisted it wasn't proof. He claimed the items were bought legally, but receipts couldn't be produced, and the metadata from the image placed him exactly where he claimed he had never been. The robbery itself had been executed with precision. The selfie destroyed it. The receipt that gave him away. In 2014, a small electronics store was robbed just before closing time. The suspect entered wearing a hoodie and sunglasses, moved straight toward the counter, and demanded cash. The entire incident lasted less than 3 minutes. He grabbed the money and ran. This time, the robber had learned from others. His face was partially hidden. He wore gloves. He avoided looking directly at the cameras. Witnesses gave vague descriptions. Height, average. Build, average. Voice, calm. Nothing distinctive. For several days, there was almost nothing to work with. Then, a detective reviewed the security footage again. Not for faces, not for movement, for details. When the suspect reached into his pocket to pull out the demand note, something small slipped out and fell to the floor. It was barely noticeable. The robber didn't realize it had happened. In the chaos of the moment, no one else saw it either. After he fled, an employee found the item. It was a crumpled receipt. The purchase had been made just 20 minutes before the robbery at a convenience store 2 blocks away. The receipt showed the exact time and the last 4 digits of a bank card used for the payment. Police contacted the store. Surveillance footage showed the same hoodie, same sunglasses, and a clear image of his uncovered face while paying at the register. He had been careful inside the electronics shop, but 20 minutes earlier, he had paid for a drink and a snack with his own card. No disguise, no gloves, no urgency. That single receipt connected everything. The investigation moved quickly after that. Bank records led to a name, the name led to an address, the address led to an arrest. He had planned of the robbery. He forgot about the moment before it.
The drop of juice. In 2011, a late-night convenience store robbery seemed routine. A masked man entered just before midnight, demanded money from the cashier, and fled within minutes. He wore gloves. He avoided touching surfaces. He kept his head down. It looked like he had studied how investigations work. The cameras captured his build, his posture, the way he moved, but not his face. Witnesses described him as calm, almost methodical. He didn't rush. He didn't panic. He left no obvious trace behind. At first, investigators believed the case would go cold. But while reviewing the footage frame by frame, one detail stood out. Just before approaching the counter, the suspect walked to the refrigerator section. He grabbed a bottle of juice, opened it, and took a quick sip. Then, after the robbery, he placed the bottle back on a shelf, not where it belonged, but randomly, as if he assumed no one would care. It was a small act, almost invisible in the larger crime. But when detectives returned to the store, they searched the shelves and found the bottle. It still had liquid inside, and on its rim there was DNA. Weeks later, the sample matched someone already in the database for a minor offense years earlier. The arrest surprised him. He had rehearsed the robbery. He had worn gloves. He had avoided fingerprints. He thought he had eliminated every physical trace. But he forgot something. Simple. You can hide your hands. You can hide your face. But you can't hide the biological trail you leave behind. It wasn't a dramatic mistake. It was a casual one. And it cost him his freedom.
If you look closely at these stories, you'll notice something interesting. None of these robberies failed because the plan was impossible. They failed because of something smaller, something human. Overconfidence, carelessness, the need to feel smarter than the system. The man without a mask believed confidence would protect him. The thief with the selfie believed the internet wouldn't connect the dots. The robber with the receipt forgot about the minutes before the crime. And the man with the juice bottle thought a small sip didn't matter. None of them expected to be caught because of something so trivial. But modern investigations are built on trivial details. Cameras don't blink. Databases don't forget. Digital footprints don't disappear just because you want them to. The strange part is this. Most failed robberies aren't stopped by genius detectives solving impossible puzzles. They're solved by tiny mistakes, by moments when someone relaxes just a little too much. Crime stories often focus on bold moves, but in reality, it's the small cracks that bring everything down. And maybe that's the real lesson here. Not about crime, but about human nature. We tend to fear complex systems, advanced technology, sophisticated surveillance. But in the end, it's usually something simple that exposes us. So here's the question. If someone planned the perfect robbery, every detail calculated, every risk minimized, what do you think would be the one mistake that ruins it? Would it be digital, physical, or something emotional? Write your answer in the comments. I'm genuinely curious what you think would give someone away. Because history shows us one thing again and again. No matter how smart you think you are, one small detail can change everything.